Hello, I am Eric Winquist. I was the visual effects supervisor on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
What are your impressions of visiting Korea?
So far, I've seen the inside of my hotel room. I'm looking forward to getting out and exploring a bit. The film is a fun adventure tale, centers around a young ape who ends up having some events happen to him that sees the disappearance of his village, and so he sets out on a quest to rescue them, to find them, and along the way meets an orangutan who starts to open his eyes to things that he was naive about in the world and about the laws that he'd grown up with. And they get into some trouble together, and we are introduced to the film's villain called Proximus Caesar, who has some interesting ideas about the legacy of Caesar that we know. And so the film sort of is all about whether he's going to finally rescue his family or not. Westball is hilarious. He's awesome. It was a very fruitful, creative collaboration. The most enjoyable sort of filmmaking process that I've been a part of in my career so far, in the sense of Wes comes from our world, in the sense of he comes from a background of 3D animation himself, and so he understands enough about our process. The two of us, and just with all of our team at WETA, we're able to have very kind of short conversations about the specifics about what we were trying to achieve, and it was just a very collaborative sort of environment that we were working in. And so those are always the most enjoyable filmmaking experiences. Oh, Owen's a star. Owen is fantastic. I mean, I think it goes back. The funny thing was, in chatting with Owen early on, he made it clear that he was a fan of WETA as well. In fact, he had dressed up as Gollum for 2 years when he was a child for Halloween. And so already there was an actor who was willing to give themselves over to the process because they knew that we were capable of turning that in and really faithfully producing or reproducing what he had done on the day. But the great thing is what he does on the day is so powerful. I think he inherently got the character of Noah from his audition tape even. Yeah, I mean, we're capturing human beings, on location. Obviously, the anatomy, the physiology of a human being and an ape, we share all this DNA, but we obviously look very different. We weren't trying to reproduce a modern-day chimpanzee or a modern-day orangutan in this movie. We're sort of fast-forwarding, and we're on our timeline somewhere between the Caesar trilogy and the original 1968 Planet of the Apes, where the apes looked a very human way, right? Obviously, that was for reasons of practicality and what they could do at that time, but it does help us when we're, say, having to put an ape on horseback if they don't have short, stunty little legs. And so we made some subtle adjustments to our apes on this round where they got slightly longer legs than they used to have, both for the purposes of making a mapping from a human onto an ape a little easier, but also so that all of the horse riding scenes that we have in this movie, there are so many of them, were easier to achieve. The overarching message of the film, of course, is, can humans and apes coexist? And obviously if you look at that from a different vantage point, the original films and all of the Caesar trilogy as well, we're also looking at that of, can humanity live with itself, the different groups within humanity, which are constantly, seeming to be at war with each other. Like a secondary sort of message specifically for our movie is probably reinforcing the idea that sometimes it might be prudent to question what you've known, to question whether the laws that you've grown up with were just or those kind of things. And so that's kind of one of the big I think things that our main character Noah wrestles with. We had, let's see, we didn't lose anybody. We didn't. The thing that was interesting, I guess, with this one is that we were shooting in Australia, which is famous worldwide for having all sorts of creatures that are out to get you. And so for this one, we found through part of our shoot that we actually had leeches that we had in our locations that we were dealing with. That was fun. I was only supposed to be there for 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, and I just kept sticking around, so I'm still here. The thing that I have always found, and the reason I'm still here after this much time, is I just so enjoy working with the crew that we have at WETA. 1,000 people contributed in some way, shape, or form to this movie, but the makeup of that 1,000 people come from all over the globe. And so we get so many brilliant people that come that want to work on the films that we work on. It's this beautiful kind of cultural mashup of everybody from around the world contributing their ideas to projects. And so that's the really satisfying part about working there. Your last question was?
What
Motivates me. What motivates me is opening up the new batch of work and seeing what amazing things people came up with. Things that were better than what I'd asked them to do. Things that I never even thought of. People. Kind of tying back to what I was just saying, it's like we've got people from such a different mix of backgrounds, and everybody's coming at a creative challenge from a different perspective. And so when you do that, you get the best of everybody. So that's what motivates me. So 8th of May, there are about 2 hours and 20 minutes of magic. It's a very fun story, a very exciting story, a hugely fun adventure to take in. Check it out.